Hi, good morning, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 716, and we are here live in Southwest Florida. I'm Kristin Omdahl, and we're here in my beautiful tropical backyard. If you are joining me live, please say hello. If you have questions for me, let me know. If you want to share what you've been working on, I know all of us in our community here would love to hear what kind of projects you're working on. Hi, Thea and Carrie and Jackie. Good morning. Ooh, 40s. That does sound chilly. Good morning, Grace and Jill, Rita. Hi, Angela, Val, and Lisa and Joe. Good morning. Hi, Julie. Good morning. Hi, Melanie and Kathy, Christine, Lorraine, Carrie, Nadine, Lily. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 716. I can't believe it. I mean, wasn't it just yesterday we had episode 700? Hi, Kimberly and Judy and Genevieve. We're already on our way to 800. So amazing. As you know, I'm excited for 1,000, but every number is exciting, every number is special, and you never know what we're going to talk about on any given day. So many amazing conversations come up because of great questions from all of you. So always feel welcome to ask your questions. It really does bring some spice and variety to the show, and I appreciate it so much. And like I've always said, anytime you have a question, keep in mind that we're more alike than we are different, and there are probably other people that have the same question. So there's no such thing as a stupid question. Please always feel welcome to ask, and if I have an answer to it, I will absolutely give my best to try to answer it. And if I don't have an answer, we can always try to figure it out and work on it for another episode. If you've been around for a while, you know this is the case. Hi, G, good morning. Hi, Edna, good morning. Hi, Marcia. All right, before we get started, I wanted to show you my outfit this morning. I think I showed you this shirt the other day, but I hadn't worn it yet, and I'm super excited about the shirt that I'm wearing. You know I am a sucker for sheer silky blouses, and you know I'm a sucker for animal print as well. Well, I found a nice little Amazon find. You can find it in my Amazon shop, amazon.com/shop/Kristin Omdahl. This is a sheer blouse that has a really nice silky drape to it, and it's very sheer. You can see my tree through two layers here. You can see the trees in the backyard. I have it today. I have it the sleeves rolled up and it tied in the front, which I think is such a cute look. So I have on dark denim, black bodysuit, which you can also find on Amazon, and this blouse just tied down here. I love this look. It is a traditional blouse though, so if you could wear it as a jacket like this. I think that looks super cute. You could definitely button it up and tuck it in as well. I mean, there's lots of ways you can wear a blouse, right? And you can roll these down and also just wear it as a traditional sleeve too. For me, you know me, I like to tie things in the front and roll up the sleeves, but I also live somewhere where it's quite warm, and I like showing curves. So this for me works really well. This would also work over one of the dresses that we talk about often, and I have one here because we're going to talk about it in a little bit. But this would be, you know how I wear those wrap cardigans? You know how I wear those wrap stretchy cardigans over my tank top dresses and I tie them like this? Well, that means that this top would also look good over one of those dresses. And I have one of those dresses with me this morning, and we're going to talk about it a little later for a craft project. But in the meantime, just a reminder, this fit and flare dress that you can find in my Amazon shop would look amazing with this type of blouse tied over the top. And let me tell you, you will see me wear it one day because I love that look. I love tying something in the center when you have a fit and flare. It adds to those curves, right? And I do think anytime you can accentuate your curves, showing your waist smaller than your hips and your bust, even if it doesn't, anytime you can give that illusion, I think it's very figure flattering. I'm just just drinking plain old lemon water this morning. For those of you that are wondering, I was in a rush and did not have time to add mint or ginger, but I will after the show because I definitely have a taste for ginger today. Hi Donna, good morning. Thank you, Judy, for sharing links. It is super humid here this morning, so I do want to point out that I was just telling a friend this morning how amazing that Wow product is for keeping frizz out of my hair. So it's got to be over 90% humidity here this morning. I would say it's closer to 100% humidity. And I blow dried my hair this morning, and you can see it's still no frizz. Amazing. Amazing. We have a kitty to say hello. Hi, Becker. Do I smash the ginger? Yes, I do. I cut slices of ginger before putting it in my water, but then I do smash them a little bit to release some of the juices and oils inside. Definitely. So I guess if you were making cocktails, it's called muddling, but I don't make I guess I make a mocktail out of it. I've always said I wanted to come up with a line of mocktail recipes because I feel like it applies to people that drink alcohol and people that don't drink alcohol, because you can make craft mocktails whether you add alcohol or not, and it's a great way to be able to drink crafty, creative drinks throughout the day. I've always wanted to do like a mocktails, like sort of a cookbook or something. Never gotten around to it yet, but it's definitely one of those things on my very long list of things that I want to share and do. I do it all the time, right? I make my own little mocktails throughout the day. Fermented ginger, that sounds good. I don't think I've ever had fermented ginger. Do you make it, Kat, or do you buy it? I should look up how to make fermented ginger, because you know I'm a huge fan of fermented foods. I love making my own fermented foods, and I definitely love buying them. Sauerkraut, yum. Whether I have a recipe for making it even. What else? Oh, and fermented cashew cream cheese. That stuff's amazing too. What else do I eat that's fermented? Oh, kimchi. I love fermented foods. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Thanks, Judy, for all the links. I appreciate it so much. I know everybody else does too. Hi, Chris. Grace ferments her own sauerkraut all the time. I do. I go back and forth. Sometimes I make it and then I take breaks from it and buy it. But I do love homemade fermented sauerkraut. I agree, Grace. It's so good. Gosh, it sounds, I've got a taste for it now. Now my mouth is watering. Yeah, sauerkraut's yummy. Yeah. Kat does make the fermented ginger. Okay. Oh, I'm all over it. I'm going to Google that. Fermented dill pickles. Yes, that's another yummy one. I'm going to learn how to ferment ginger today. And then I will check back with you guys and let you know how it turns out. But I'm super excited. I love making anything with ginger. I make a ginger simple syrup to make my homemade ginger ale. That's awesome. I believe I put the recipe for my ginger simple syrup in my 80 Handmade Gifts book. That was the first book that I added some of my recipes to, which was such a huge wish list for me to finally publish a food-related recipe book, and I do hope to do more of that in the future. Definitely part of my dreams and wishes for the future is to publish more recipes, and I know I did some simple syrup recipes in there. I can't remember if ginger was one of them, but I love making ginger simple syrup at home to make my own ginger ale. It's so, so, so good. Hi, Sharon. Good morning. I missed a couple of names. Angela, what was the name of the song I played yesterday? It was The Dance by Garth Brooks. I need to start doing more of those. I might do another song today. I've been playing piano a lot lately. It is very therapeutic for me to sit down and play piano. It's the only time where I can really wipe my brain of all the wheels spinning, is when I can concentrate on playing a melody with one hand and a harmony with the other hand. Thanks, Judy. There's a link to 80 Handmade Gifts book, which is the first book that I wrote where I incorporated lots of different crafts with different chapters. So there's a chapter on knitting patterns, a chapter on crochet patterns, a chapter on sewing patterns, a chapter on cooking recipes, and then another miscellaneous chapter of jewelry making and paper crafts and other things, all focused on making handmade gifts that don't take long to make. Grace, you play piano for the same reason. Yes, there's something about having to concentrate on melody and harmony at the same time that it really does make my brain focus on one thing and not think or worry about everything else going on. It's the one time that I can shut my brain off when I'm awake. I love it. All right. Thank you, Lizzie. You have the 80 Handmade Gifts book and you love the recipes. That's awesome. I know a lot of people have enjoyed the recipes in there. I know a lot of people enjoy my toffee recipe, and I've seen a lot of people make the different muffin and muffin and quick bread recipes, like the cardamom orange loaf and the raspberry lime muffins and things like that. What else? Oh, I think a lot of people have made the quinoa crackers in there. And I don't know, I know I've gotten a lot of great feedback on the recipes. Oh, Kimberly's made the chai mix and the baklava protein energy balls. That's great. Yes, I make an protein energy no bake little balls that are inspired by the flavors of baklava. They are so yummy. I don't know about if you like baklava and you want a healthy version of tasting like baklava, that is really, really yummy. And if you're looking for a wow gift that everybody likes, the chocolate toffee, I have yet to see a person that doesn't go wow when they try that toffee. And I know a lot of you have had that experience with gifting the toffee as well. These recipes, Bonnie, are in my book, 80 Handmade Gifts. And Judy has posted a link just up above if you scroll up in the live chat, or you can go to my website and search in the bookshop. You can find 80 Handmade Gifts as a paperback book or as an ebook on my website, or if you prefer Amazon shopping, it is available through Amazon Prime in every country. So I'm not even sure what country you live in, and it is available all over the world there too. I believe you can buy it on barnesandnoble.com as well, but you can get an autographed copy on my website. Lisa makes my toffee. Yay, I'm so glad. I love making that too. Probably will be doing some food gifts this year for the holidays because they're easy to ship. Won't be seeing too many people for the holidays this year, I don't anticipate, so we'll be doing a lot of shipping of gifts, which will include handmade items and handmade food items. So probably planning on doing some earrings and some food gifts to ship. And toffee is always something that I ship during the holidays. Oh, the healthy spiced nuts. That's another great recipe in that book. So normally spiced nuts have a coating with butter on the outside, and I have a recipe for using egg whites to coat the nuts with the spice mixture. And by using egg whites instead of butter, it makes it a lot lighter and a lot healthier. So then you're only getting the healthy fats of the nuts and not the saturated fats of the butter. And I add a little bit of sugar and some spices. They are amazing. Everybody loves the spiced nuts too. I do decorate gifts with crochet. I like to add crochet motifs to cards, to handmade cards, and you can also find patterns for that in 80 Handmade Gifts book also. I have a lot of paper crafts in there where you can make different containers for like making a gift box for handmade crochet items, or for decorating the handmade cards with motifs or other designs. I've got a lot of different ideas for that. Joe, if you love ginger ale and you love ginger, you will love making homemade ginger ale. No question, you will love simple syrup, I promise you. It's great in tea. Also, if you like sweet tea, great to add a simple syrup to tea also. Especially if you like sweet iced tea. That's the only way to do sweet iced tea. As you know, if you are a sweet iced tea drinker, mixing sugar into cold liquid does not work. So simple syrup's the way to go. Let's see what else I've been missing. Oh, Lizzie says all her gifts for Christmas will be from 80 Handmade Gifts this year. Oh, that makes me so happy. There is nothing more flattering to me than hearing that I have inspired somebody else to do more handmade gifting. It's so special to me. Yeah, Judy, if you or if you are restricted in your diet from traditional sodas, it is definitely a good idea to try to make your own. And obviously, drink in moderation, right? 'Cause it's still going to be high in sugar, but yeah, you could definitely avoid all that added hidden sodium by making your own. That's a great reason to make your own. So maybe I should do that on one of my next cooking lives. Maybe we could make some homemade soda while we're making some other things. I know one of the things, oh, the cheese log too, yes. Oh, homemade cheese logs are so much better than store-bought. I'm glad you like that recipe too. So special. One of the next cooking lives, I'm going to share my absolutely favorite corn recipe that Marlon could just eat his body weight in, and everybody that eats it loves it too. It's so easy. That's one of the next recipes that I want to teach on Cooking Live. But maybe we should make a simple syrup to make some homemade soda too. Thank you, Lizzie. That means so much to me. Yep, there are other alternative sugars too. I've tried Swerve and I've used it to sweeten coffee and tea, but I have not tried it to actually make simple syrup or anything. I don't know how alternative sugars work for that. Yeah, new recipes are always a good idea, right, Lisa? Okay, is anybody on here, does anybody on here need tips on making rice? Because I know, I find a lot of times when I talk to like my local friends in real life, sort of, you know, the friends that I see that are not craft related, they tell me, how do you make your rice so fluffy and every single time your rice never gets messed up? And I do have some tips that I've learned over the years. I first learned the proper for me. I first learned a foolproof way to make rice when I learned how to make Persian rice when I lived in the Middle East. And I even still had some hit or misses when I made it there, but then I learned some more tips when I started learning how to make sushi rice for making sushi. And so for me, I combined some of the tips of sushi rice with some of the tips of making Persian Middle Eastern rice, and when I combine the two of those together, these two techniques, I get perfect fluffy rice every single time. It doesn't clump, it doesn't get mushy. And so my question to all of you is that something you would like me to focus on a cooking live? Because I know it sounds super simple to people that already know how to make foolproof rice, but if you don't, I would really like to be able to share that. I'm getting some yeses. I normally make jasmine rice and sometimes I do brown rice, but overall the technique is the same that I use. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. Okay, because that's what I've found is that most people really don't know how to make rice that turns out well every single time. So, and I didn't either. Long time ago, I made horrible rice and I even gave up on it. There was a time I used to buy rice cooked and frozen, like at Trader Joe's, because it was the only way I got fluffy rice. And now, since I've combined my Persian techniques with my Japanese techniques, now I get perfect rice every single time. Susie makes yellow rice. Does that mean you add saffron to it? Jasmine rice is my favorite. And I end up using jasmine rice for just about everything except risotto and sushi. Then I use arborio or sushi rice. Man, we've talked about food a lot today. Sorry for anybody who's annoyed by that, but it's really hard to not go off on a tangent when we start talking about food, right? I must be hungry. That is the way rice was in the past for you. When you watch my tips on how to make rice, you will never have surprise results again, I promise. Every time I make rice now, it turns out perfect every single time. So I'm getting enough feedback here to know that I absolutely need to do that. Oh, Susie makes her own saffron. She grows her own saffron. Wow, that's special and saves you a bunch of money too. The only reason why I don't buy it too often is because it's expensive. That's amazing. Okay, yeah, I'm getting overwhelming yeses now. All right, so who wants to talk about yarn now? We've spent the first 2/3 of the show talking about other stuff, but hey, that's life, and life gets in the way. And you know what? We all eat. We're human beings and we eat, so food really isn't that much of a tangent. what is sushi rice? Sushi rice is a short grain rice, very similar looking to a borio rice, which is what Italians use to make sushi, and it's a short grain rice as well, but it's what Japanese people use to make sushi rice, which is so yummy. I love sushi rice in sushi, and I love it on its own. American Meadow sells saffron crocus bulbs. I am definitely going to look into that. Thank you, Susie. That is very exciting. Chips, French fries. Yeah, I don't make a whole lot of fried foods, Dave. In fact, I have to tell you, one of my first cooking mishaps was when I don't even know if I was 18 yet. I might have been 18. As I shared the other day, I've been on my own since I was 16, 17 years old. And I was experimenting cooking and had never been taught how to cook growing up. And I thought I was going to make homemade potato chips one night, sliced my potatoes nice and thin. I put oil in my big pot, put a lid on it to make it get to a boil faster, and it was a clear glass lid, and it started looking solid and I couldn't see through it. I was like, why does it look so dark? It was smoke, and I didn't realize it. I lifted the lid up, and this is a big spaghetti pot filled with oil. This billowing smoke, I lifted the lid up and I was like, oh my God, it turned to flames. The flames were this high on top of the pot filled with oil, and I thought, oh my God, I better go get some water and put the flames out. And so I took another pot of water and I dumped water on the giant flames, and it went down and then went kaboom and went really high, and I singed all the hair off my face. I singed my eyebrows, my eyelashes, singed the front of my hair. I'm very, very lucky I did not get badly hurt. The flames engulfed the wall and the ceiling in as far as I could see from my peripheral view. And I was living in an old apartment complex at the time. I ran outside, banged on my neighbors' doors. They called 911. Luckily, there wasn't enough oil in the pan to keep the fire going long enough to catch on the ceiling and walls, so the fire apparently went out as I ran outside, but they brought like 8 major fire trucks to the scene because I lived in an apartment complex, and they were afraid that it was going to spread. So by the time the police got there, there was nothing left. And I was crying so hard and like hanging on these firemen, going and just kept saying, I'm so sorry. I felt so guilty for causing such a scene. It was, oh my God, it was scary, but it was also one of the most humiliating moments of my life too. And it's a long story and it's a side tangent, but I really haven't fried much food since. Like, I've done some shallow frying of fried chicken on the stove, but I don't know if I've ever done a full-blown deep fry. And I've never bought a deep fryer for a couple of reasons. One of which is because I know I love fried food and I'd probably be 500 pounds. But the other reason is I think I still have a little bit of trauma from my thick oil deep fry experience. So I've never really done much frying. Love deep fryers at other people's houses. It's amazing. Yeah, Judy, I didn't grow up in a house where I learned how to cook. So I absolutely I'd never heard of a grease fire in my life. Never had any idea that that's what would happen. Amazing, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's get back on topic here. Oh, Kroger's makes your fried chicken. Yeah, I like fried chicken a lot too. I don't do it. I just don't do it. Does my cat wonder why you're talking to myself? I don't know. They get jealous for sure, because if I'm talking and not talking to them, because I talk to my cats a lot too. I don't know. Maybe they're used to me talking to my phone now. Anyway, let's go back to what we started talking about yesterday, which was this knitting pattern that I've made a little more progress on. But what I wanted to show you is that I have started working on the crochet equivalent of it, and I haven't gotten very far, but even though I've only done a few rows of it, you will see that it does look extremely similar. Look at that. It's not very often that I can show you a knit and crochet counterpart to a pattern and actually show you something that looks extremely similar. So there's the knit version. And as I mentioned yesterday, if you weren't here yesterday, these are going to be large Mobius cowls. So I'm shooting for like an 18-inch wide by 36-inch long fabric, and then I will twist it once and sew them into a tube so that we can have a Mobius cowl that you can wear flat like a capelet or wear up like a scarf, and hopefully 36 inches will be long enough to be able to wrap twice around your neck. If not, I'm going to do some experimenting when I get to 36 inches. It's possible we'll go to 40 inches just to make sure that we can wrap a second time, because to make a really voluminous cowl would be really cozy warm for winter. So I'm doing the crochet version in Be So Toasty yarn in color Cactus Flower with a 4mm crochet hook and a 25mm knitting needle for my dowel, which is also a US 50. And then for the knitting version, I'm using Be So Sporty bling yarn, gold bling, in color Peach Sherbet. I just dropped a couple stitches. Yikes. Okay, I got them. Yay. And it is broomstick lace. The crochet one is broomstick lace, and the knit one is a wrapped drop stitch made into the same types of clusters as the broomstick lace crochet version, which I'm trying to go for a similar textured look. Both techniques are relatively easy to do, little cumbersome to learn something different, but not difficult. And when you read the patterns and then follow the supplemental tutorial video, you will definitely get it. They work up nice and quick because of the long stitches too. So this is Be So Sporty gold bling in color Peach Sherbet with a US 8 or 5mm set of knitting needles. This is going to be a 2-ball project, and because it's 300 yards per ball. And the crochet one, and that's interchangeable. You would either, if you were doing a crochet one in the sporty version, you could do that with the same number of balls most likely. And then Be So Toasty, you would do, this would be a 1-ball project. This is a #1 fingering weight yarn that is 65% merino wool, 35% bamboo, really soft and cozy. And this is 590 yards per ball, so this will be a 1-ball project. And I'm using a size 4mm crochet hook for that. Yes, I just said that, and either one could be interchangeable with the different yarns. Yes. Yep. Oh, it is so warm out here. I am sweating so bad. I know, TMI. Yeah, Christine, you don't have to use the wool one. You could use any of the 100% plant fiber yarns that I use. So you could use any of the cotton bamboo blends or any of the 100% bamboo yarns. Yeah, that's just, you don't have to use Be So Toasty. I have lots of other choices. Okay, we ran out of time to talk about what was the dowel again. The dowel that I'm using is a knitting needle, actually. I like using big knitting needles for dowels, and this happens to be a size US 50 or 25mm. And we didn't get to that today because we ran out of time, and we didn't get to talking about the crochet on fabric project that I want to discuss for that black dress that I showed you at the beginning of the show, but we will get to it. We'll maybe get to it tomorrow. It is very exciting when we have so much to talk about that we have to spill over into another day. It sure beats not having stuff to talk about, right? I don't know if that knitting needle's in my Amazon shop, but I will pop it in right after the show if it's not, because that is a good idea. I will let you know where to find it, and if I will let you know, and if I'll put it in my, if it's not already in there, I'll put it in right after the show, and then I will mention it tomorrow morning on the podcast as well. If you enjoyed the podcast, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please click that bell button in the corner, or sorry, the red button in the corner, and the bell button if you want to be notified every time I go live. I know we have an amazing, lovely, supportive, creative community here, and we would always love for you, anyone new, to join. If you have any friends that might enjoy the podcast or any of my thousands of tutorial videos, please feel welcome to share them with anyone too. I would appreciate that very much. cut line. Did I miss the link? The link for what pattern cut line? There are no new patterns. I'm showing sneak peeks today. So the patterns will be out probably in the next week or two. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes with me. I hope you enjoyed the show and tell, the talking, the chatting with me and everyone else, all the great questions. Thanks always for all the great questions. They mean so much to me, you know that. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Bye.